Okay, so now in those questions 25 to 33, we have our first market distortion, which is a price floor of 6. But of course, what we need to do first is draw again demand and supply. So in this case, we have our demand function. It goes from 8 to 8. So that would be this one here. The supply function starts at 2 plus Q. Okay, so now if you remember, we had the market equilibrium used to be the price of 5, and the equilibrium quantity was 3, and the consumer surplus was 4.5 and the producer surplus was 4.5. So the market equilibrium we had the parameter and the value. So the equilibrium price was 5, equilibrium quantity was 3, and of course, because it's an equilibrium, that was the quantity turned over, the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied. And then consumer surplus was, I will not draw it now, but if you remember, it is this triangle here from 5 to 8 and 8 to 3, so that was 4.5. And producer surplus was 4.5, so total surplus or welfare was 9. Okay, but now what we have is we have a price floor of 6. So the government sets the price. So now we have to do our welfare analysis for this one. So okay, so again, the parameters that we examine. Okay, so the price is now 6. And now, what is the quantity demanded? Well, quantity demanded is only 2. What is quantity supplied? Well, that's 4. So we have this excess supply. But, even if, let's say, the producers put 6 units into the shelves of the stores, but only 2 are being picked up, the quantity turned over is only 2. So now how big is consumer surplus? So consumer surplus is now only this little triangle here. And this area is 2 times 2 over 2, so that's 2. And the producer surplus looks a little bit different. It's basically a combination of a triangle and a square in this case. So if we do, so we have here, actually we can. So this area is 2, then this square is 4, and this triangle is 2. So now we know that consumer surplus is only 2, which is a reduction of 2.5. But producer surplus is now 6. Which is a gain to the market equilibrium of 1.5. So that means we must have a deadweight loss of 1. So total surplus is only 8 and it used to be 9. So we have a deadweight loss of 1, and of course that deadweight loss can be seen here. Let's find something. So this purple triangle is the deadweight loss. Okay, so the idea, of course, of a price floor is always to protect the producers, like a minimum price for agricultural produce or a minimum price affect the labor. Those are typical examples for price floors. And so now we can answer those questions. What is quantity demanded at a price of 6? We said, well, that's 2. And what is the quantity supplied? So that was 4. What is the quantity turned over? Well, the quantity turned over is only 2. How big is the consumer surplus? We said consumer surplus is 2. How big is producer surplus? We only said that is 6. How big is total surplus? So total welfare is now 8. How big is the deadweight loss? And we said that is 1. Compared to the free market equilibrium, how much consumer surplus do consumers lose? So the consumers lost 2.5. And compared to the free market equilibrium, how much did the producers win? So they win only 1.5, which is why there must be a deadweight loss of 1. Okay, so now we have seen that a price floor leads to a reduction of economic activity and therefore to a reduction of welfare.